Hey, Counter Slammers, coming at you with a model review. We're going to take a look at a model that just came out a couple weeks ago. This one being Lilith, the Reckoning of Everblight, or we like to call her 3lylith, and it's her third incarnation. And you can tell she's definitely different than most other casters. She's a battle engine caster, and she's very, very fast. So before we get too much into what the model can do, I'd like to show you what the model looks like and, you know, give you a look and see here how I painted it. I tend to do mine in more of a fiery red, so I use a lot of reds, oranges, golds, yellows for my Legion, which you can tell by my Archangel and my Throne of Everblight. So let's go ahead and take a look at the model, and then we'll jump right into it. So you'll notice here that she's completely made out of metal. She has no plastic pieces at all, which gives her a little bit of weight to her. And that actually kind of caught me off guard when I first got her, because I thought they were going to start doing more resin and less of the I guess the kind of the pewterish metal. So it was kind of refreshing to see that. When putting her together, there wasn't really any real difficulties. I think with the sled, the metal pieces on the sides were a little hard to put together, but the rest of it was pretty simple. I had to put a lot of glue down there because there's not a lot to actually touching the base, except for the feet of the elk and the sides of the sleigh. That's the only two parts that are actually touching the base. So I'd use a lot of glue and super glue to really stick her on there. But once she got on there, she doesn't come off at all. It's pretty sturdy. So. But let's go ahead and jump into the look at her card, and we'll see what kind of stats she has and what makes her, you know, a decent caster in my opinion. So let's go ahead and look. We have, first thing you'll notice is that her speed is 9, which is fast. She's the fastest caster in the game. She can because she's a large base, I guess, in a battle engine, she's actually considered a weapons platform, which lets her to be able to do melee attacks and ranged attacks in the same activation. So she can trample over things, and then she can turn around and shoot things. And her shots have a 360-degree arc, so she can shoot completely around herself, 12 inches. Matching that with a 12-inch trample, you're talking a 24-inch threat range, and that's pretty good for any caster, really. So I think one thing people have commented on is just their opponents aren't really sure how to deal with her, because her and the Raptors become so fast they can get up in your face turn 2, shooting things, and and it just becomes very difficult to deal with. And that's what makes her very unique. And I think people are going to have to start learning how to play with a caster that's that quick. We mentioned that she's a weapons platform. She can do power attack, trample attacks, which is nice. And when she does that, she gets to add the power of the blades on the side to her attack rolls, which is pretty neat. And she has 3 attacks. So she has the 2 blades on the side and the mount, which are all POW 12s. And her shot is a POW 12 as well. And with her shot, whenever she shoots, even though it's a rate of fire 1, she can actually shoot 3 times. So she can shoot multiple models, and we're even looking into possibly using the Tariff with counterblast. She may actually be able to shoot 3 more if you end your movement within her command range. So that we're still waiting on a ruling on that, but that's a really cool idea, and gives us another reason to use models like the Tariff. So which I know a lot of people don't. She has an ability too, when she shoots something with her crossbow, that when she kills something, she can actually cast a spell that is 3 or less for free. Now she's only got 5 fury, so she has to use it very sparingly, and this really helps her to be able to cast a spell. She can do it once per turn. For example, like Wind Wall, so it's a good defensive spell after she's done shooting, to really help give her some more just protection, because being on a large base, she's going to get shot from everywhere, and that's one of the main complaints that we have with her, is that she can get shot from anywhere. But with Wind Wall, it helps to at least deflect the non-magical attacks, which is nice. So let's take a look at her spells and see what she's got here. So she has Escort. It's a cost to range itself an AoE of her control area, which is 10 inches, and it is an upkeep spell. It says War Beasts in this model's battle group, beginning their activations in its control area, gain +2 movement. This model gains +2 armor while 1 or more War Beasts in its battle group are within 3 inches of it. So it helps to increase her armor, which is base 16, at least gets it up to 18 whenever there's a beast nearby her in her battle group, which is good. And she's only got 18 hit boxes, which I thought was a little low compared to what I thought she was going to get. I thought she was going to have like 20, 25 hit boxes. So with 18, that's not great. But her defense is 14, which is is nice. It's definitely better than any of the other larger base models. So she's harder to hit, and you know, throw in a shredder and things like that. There's ways I'm sure you can up that so she gets even harder to hit, and that makes it. I think that makes this a really fun model. We got something big and it's hard to hit. So next spell she has is called Frost Hammer, and a few Legion casters have this. It's a 2 casting cost 8-inch spray, and it's a POW 12, and it says Frost Hammer causes cold damage on a critical hit. A model becomes stationary for 1 round unless it has immunity to cold. Pretty standard. And then her last spell is a casting cost of 3 called Wind Wall, and it is a range of self. And it says this model cannot make ranged attacks, and non-magical ranged attacks targeting it automatically miss. While completely within 3 inches of this model, models cannot make ranged attacks, and non-magical ranged attacks targeting them automatically miss. Wind Wall lasts for 1 round. So at least it gives her beasts some extra protection too. Even things like, you know, say the Archangel or other beasts that you want to take with her, Carnivian, you know, or any other type of shooty beast. Some beasts that go really well with her again could be the Tariff. If they end up ruling that her shot with counterblast she can shoot 3 times, pretty good. Although that would be pretty much ineffective with Wind Wall. But you know, if you want to try and chance it, that might be one way to actually have be in a weapons platform. She can shoot while being engaged. So it's a pretty decent ability that she might be able to use using the Tariff. Other beasts, of course, the Ravagors are going to be huge, and even the Seraphs. The Seraphs are actually going to be, I think, it gives me a reason to play Seraphs. I don't usually play Seraphs, but with her, if you have, you know, 2 Seraphs, they get D3 plus 1 shots, much like the Archangel. So when it comes feat time, when you start shooting things, you can hit more targets and keep, you know, your enemies, so they have to give up their, you know, their movement or their action. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not people play her in tournaments. I would personally like to try her in our next tournament that we have going on at our local store. And I'll probably be playing her almost the whole time, probably even with an Archangel, because I want to see how well it works with her and synergizes. And, you know, and we'll see if other people start to play her in tournaments and leagues as well. So, and then let's take a look at her feat. It says, the feat is called the Reaping. It says when an enemy model is directly hit by a ranged attack made by a friendly faction model while the friendly faction model is in Lilith's control area, the enemy model suffers Death Chill. And those who play Crix will be familiar with that with the Pistol Wraith. Basically, the model suffering Death Chill must forfeit either its movement or its action, its next activation, and the Reaping lasts for during your turn. I think she stands to be a really good caster. It'll be fun to play her just because she's so different, which is, I'm kind of glad that we got something different. But I don't think she is the same power as Elilith, not yet. At least not that I've seen and what other people have mentioned. So but you can take almost virtually the same list. You can take the Striders, you can take the Raptors, you can take Anissa, you can take anything that can shoot and put it in either list, same caster, or you know, different caster, and I think you'll start to see both lists really shine just in a little bit different ways. I just think that the 3 Lilith here, I think, is going to be just a little bit harder to tackle harder casters, but I think she could do all right, and I really look forward to playing her more. As she's so new right now, I haven't had a chance to really play with her much yet, so I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and we'll get back to the game.